I left where you put me on a left, 75, and
We'll do it, George. Well, you there. Hands up, you accepting?
Hello, Jay. I wondered if anybody was going to be around. K5LYN.
Well, I was in the eating temperature just a second ago. Man, I can't get this thing to... Well, I got the amp on. That's the only way you can probably hear me. I'm not sure what's going on with it.
Well, it sounds fine. Are you still barefooted?
No, I've got the amp on. It's only doing about 300 watts. It's not the amp. I think it's the rig. Something with my mic gain going off.
Well, rock your band switch around a little bit.
I'll get that. Let me try something here. That goes down. I'll have to come back up a little. That didn't seem to make a whole lot of difference there. Well, that brought it up a little bit. I think my mic gain control is kind of flaky. I've tried to clean it 2 or 3 times and it hasn't seemed to help much.
If you raised it a little bit, you got stronger, but you also got a little bit fuzzy.
Okay, I took it back. I hear all that.
Yeah, I think you're fine.
Okay, yeah, I'll leave it here. It's good enough. You can hear me, that's fine.
Oh, yeah, I'm hearing you. In fact, I think I might be hearing you just fine. It's so early still, I mean, when the sun is shining like it's mid-afternoon, we're not going to be very loud.
Well, you're exactly half scale on this calling to me, or whatever that means.
Well, talk a minute. I'll tell you where you are.
Okay. Well, you're peaking at 9-ish units, I guess, on the cotton peaking thing. Is it what it's showing?
Okay, on mine, you're a little more than half scale, but I haven't turned on the amplifier, and my peak reading meter, see, I'm not doing very good either. I'm only at about 60 watts.
Okay. Well, I bet my receiver's better than my, I probably, it could be I need to check them too.
Well, I wondered, a while ago I tried to tune this rig up here on 3870 with the band switch on 20 meters. I wondered why it didn't work right. I heard somebody say, hey, lift. Oh, Perry, that's incredible. That you could hear me on 60 watts, that's unbelievable.
Hey, Lynn.
Hey, Perry, I'm going to put you number 3 on the list. So you'll be the third person I'll call you tonight, okay?
Hey, Lynn.
Yeah.
You're doing it good in Central Louisiana, W5 area.
Well, y'all, that's pretty amazing.
And over in Tyler.
Yeah, you bet, Lynn. I haven't had any other net controls. Hey, Jay, you up to it tonight?
Oh, I don't see why not.
All right, looks like it's you and I. I haven't heard Guy and haven't heard Jim. So far, I got MCT, TXW, UOZ, IS, and SED.
Alrighty, well, whenever you kick it off, you want to start it out, and I'll just make a list as we go and pick up, when you get tired, I'll take over.
Yeah, if anybody comes in when I go down the hall to take a leak, right, you put them on your list.
Okay.
OJB.
Hello, Denver.
Hello to all you fine fellas out there tonight. to me just a little bit. I think I'm a little off y'all's frequency.
I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm talking, and I'm pretty well on frequency, so there you go. Tune me in, rock that dude back and forth, and we'll see what you got going on there.
All right, am I closer to you there?
You sound fine to me.
You were fine both ways, but I think you're better now.
All right, well, I'll leave it right there.
How do y'all like where I am?
Lynn, you're always good.
George was thin enough so I couldn't hear. Who am I talking to?
Well, that's me, KF5CDG.
Check. 1-2, 1-2. I'm a rock star. WB5TXW.
I'm trying something a little different this week, Lynn. I've got the audio coming out of the headphone jack, going to a West Mountain, whatever, anyway, one of them clear speakers, and then adapting some stuff back to the headphones. So far, it's working pretty good as far as a noise reducer.
Well, those things have a great reputation.
Yeah, it's not doing much for the tune-up tone, though. Sometimes it'll kill part of it, sometimes it won't.
That's not fair, Jay. You're using digital signal processing. That ain't no boat anchor now.
Well, the speaker ain't a boat anchor, but the rest of it is.
Okay, well, I guess we'll let you make it then.
Well, let's see if it looks a little better on the meter now. Yeah, it does. K5LYN.
Ouch! I gotta turn the volume down.
Well, you came up out of the mud, but Yeah, 30L1 usually does the guy a favor.
I still think that's, well, not to those who know about it, who know them, but I still think they're one of the most underrated amps out there.
Well, I think it's great. You know, it doesn't make any noise, doesn't take a lot of room up, you know, it does a great job. The only thing is I wish it had a standby on it, you know. You got to turn it on or off. There's no in between.
Well, yeah, but since they're instant on, it doesn't matter much.
Yeah, and that was, I think, you know, their point of view. I still kind of like it, but, yeah, it's okay.
Hey, Lynn.
Yeah.
Got a little off and on switch in my keying line between my rig and my swan, so it works great.
You know, yeah, that's exactly what a person ought to do. That's an easy solution. I just hadn't got around to it. But yeah, you're exactly right, Doug. Well, I've got two clocks. One says it's past time, one says it's about 30 seconds short, so I can't say which one's right, but y'all about ready to do it, K5LYN.
Well, go ahead.
Get it. Okay. Good evening, folks. This is K5LYN. My name's Lynn. And we call this gathering the Boat Anchors Unlimited Net. I happen to be on the Collins S line tonight, including a 30L1. Antennas, an 80-meter loop about 15, 20 feet off the ground at the most, fed with ladder line through the kilowatt Johnson Matchbox. Mostly you're going to have vacuum tube radios here, but a lot of folks on hybrids come by, and sometimes folks on modern radios come by to say hello, and they're welcome if they're interested in what we're doing. Let me stand by a minute and see if there's any emergency that needs the frequency. All right, I didn't hear anything, so we'll carry on. Buy-sell trades are welcome if they're vintage radio related, and if somebody wants to come by on AM, that's fine. Zero beat carefully because most of us don't have RIT and we won't be tuning around. If you have a technical question about a radio that you're working on and it's got you stumped, and I've got several of them all the time, this is a good place to find some help with some people that know somebody that's had that problem before and maybe can lend a hand. So technical questions are absolutely welcome and my favorite part of the net. Okay, the people that I know are lurking are MTT, TXW, UOZ, ISSED, OJB, and CDG. So I'm going to call those, then I'll see if there's anybody else who wants to talk to me. Then we'll give it to Jay, let him talk to some folks. So WA5MTT, Mike, how about it? K5LYN.
Yeah, hello, Lynn, and everyone on the BoatAnchorNet. We're on the same old Collins S line tonight. The 75S2 receiver, 32S1 transmitter, and 30S1 amplifier, 312B4 console, Electro Voice 664 microphone. And this is all winged emblem stuff that was bought, as I was told, I guess it was bought and manufactured in 1961. So that's that's the story there. Anyway, that's about it, Lynn. One side note, I think you told me at one time you worked on, or you resurrected some old broadcast radios, and I've got a stand-up type old Zenith that someone gave to me once upon a time, and I really need to find a home for it because I'll never have time to work on it. If you do that kind of stuff still, I can call you offline and we can talk about it.
I'd love to do that, Mike. Yeah, I just resurrected the second one, and I've had both of them in my living room for quite some time. And I'm about as proud of those things as anything I've got around here. So yeah, let's get together on it.
Okay. I've got everything. I don't think that. In fact, I'm pretty sure I don't have a speaker in the thing, but I'm sure there's ways to come up with those.
Yeah, I did that on this one. What's odd about it is you got the old speakers had an electromagnet instead of permanent magnet, and that was also the choke. So you've got to figure out how you're going to choke it. But you can put a modern speaker in there. Yeah, we can handle that.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll call you sometime offline then and let you pick up the rest of these folks. WA5MTT.
Hey, Mike, well, I've got you. N0SAP, SAP, one of the guys that we know from 20 meters and also comes by here now and again, has got an S2 line transmitter and receiver. That was the first time I'd talked to one of those this past Sunday.
Oh, okay. Well, I knew he was looking for one. I'd heard him one time looking for one, and I've still got this one sitting here. I did look at it again the other day, and I've got the power supply unit for it. With a radio farm project board to go in it, so I just need to quit working and work on radio.
Oh, you've got an S2 transmitter up there? I'm not sure I knew that.
Yeah, I had bought one a couple years ago. I think I told you about it, and it's just one of these things that I don't get to. It's the S2 transmitter. It's a whole station.
Well, if I knew it, I forgot, and that happens. But nice to hear that, and you'll get to it. And we all need stuff to do. Anything else on your end, Mike?
No. It also has 312B5 console that goes with it. I've got to do some work on it. It all needs a little bit of work, but it'll be a fun project.
Yeah, very nice. All right, you've got a beautiful signal. It could not possibly be any better. Okay, Mr. Neighbor George, TXW, how about it? K5LYN.
Howdy, Lynn, and all around the net from WB5TXW. Well, beautiful signals tonight, of course, all on S-Line to Collins. Myself on a 32S175S3 30L1. The power supply, the speaker box with wings. Someday later it'd be worth it to understand the historical significance between the wings and the circles. I rather doubt if there's any technical difference except what's on the outside of the cabinet. Shure 444 microphone 2060 antenna tuner and the 75-meter dipole, and that's it. I'm good to go for Saturday. And remind me to tell you about the arterial ultrasound. Here's another test for you to have someday. I had it today. Over.
What part of your body?
Aorta. Between your breastbone and down to your belly button.
Okay, all right, we'll visit about it. Well, I certainly recommend getting all the tests you can get all the time. I do. It's good to hear you, George. Your S-line's just like Mike's, as good as it gets. Over.
Very good, thank you. Email you later on during the week to confirm, and we'll see you around. We'll sit back and listen. 730 around WB5TXW back to net.
Unless we're out of town and going to a ham fest, several of us get together for breakfast, El Nuevo, Mexico, Anderson Lane in North Lamar and Austin, 8 o'clock. Okay, KB0UOC. Terry, you still hearing us up there? How about it? K5LYN.
Yeah, you bet, Lynn. Copying everybody real good. Got a lot of stage from storms up here in the area, but signals are pretty good. We're speaking on this SB 102 with the secure 450 microphone, and got the Maritron 811H running here. Getting kind of a week side, about 500 out, I guess. And through the Dentrock Supercenter, out the 450 on wire line to 75 meter in 30 days. So that's kind of through here. We got a hand test coming up in Joplin at the end of the month. Got my fingers crossed, hoping to find something else green there. We'll see what's going. If nothing green, maybe I'll find something else. Anyway, Lynn, thanks for being here. Good evening all the way around to the net. We're going to ride along and hear all the cloud soup on the air. KB0UOC.
Terry, you've got the usual spectacular signal while the sun is like mid-afternoon here in central Texas. It's amazing that you do that so well. Great signal coming in here. All right, glad to hear you, and the SB102 is doing a beautiful job. Okay, W5IS. Doug, you were pretty loud too. How about it? K5LYN.
Yeah, K5LYN and the net. W5IS. Just talking on a hybrid BS830, driving a Swan on 2 amps, and one of the things starting to warm up this room. Glad to get those cooler weather, and I'm using a hand mic and dipole up about 30-something feet, and you're booming in after you turn the heater on. I heard you good on the 60 watts, but you did jump up and doing a good job. Appreciate y'all calling the net and giving us a chance to listen. Here's what some of the old boat anchors sound like. W5IS, 73.
Very nicely done, Doug. And I got a question for you. That radio and those radios of those times came out when I couldn't be very active because I was too busy trying to get my career started and being a professional, all that kind of stuff. About what year does that radio date to, more or less, over?
Man, I can't remember what. I'm sorry, I don't know right now. I'll look it up to you next week.
No rush, and I can look it up too, Doug. It's doing a nice job for you. Okay, let's see. And Steve was loud too. I think we must have a pretty good band tonight. K0SED. How about it, Steve? K5LY.
Good afternoon, Lynn, and all the boat anchors. I think the 830 came out in 1981, I believe. Not sure, but I believe so. Anyway, I'm on the one that's a little older, 520 more. And a 3001 that dipole up about 40-odd feet. And, oh boy, another beautiful day in Tyler, Texas. Bloody heat. Anyway, that's about it here, Lynn. Back to you. K0SED.
Very nice signal, Steve, on a very nice radio. Those 520s don't quit. It's great into Austin. It's good to hear you this evening. Well, Denver, what about it down there? N50JB, how about it? Over to you.
All right, we appreciate that. This is N50JB. Weakest signal on this 75-meter band with a BoatAnchorNet. I'm running an ST101EX and an FL2100F, and I'm going into an inverted V and dipole at about 30 foot in the air, the apex at about 30 foot in the air, and an old Shure 444 mic. And everybody is sounding good, and I hope everybody can hear me. N50JB, and back to you, Lynn.
Super signal, Denver. No issues whatsoever. Really coming in good. All right, George, still hanging in there? KF5CDG, how about it?
All right, Lynn. Yeah, I'm still here, KF5CDG. I'm on the Kenwood 870 here. I'm up here with the Jetsons. I'm a time traveler from the future with my $6, well, I guess I didn't pay that much for it, but my $6 Radio Shack microphone, my $1.25 equalizer, and an in-fed wire that comes right into the shack to the tuner. So that's what I'm using over here anyhow. But Lynn, you never need to ask anybody if you're on frequency, because I don't think I've ever heard you much more than about maybe 10 cycles, 5-10 cycles off frequency. So you always hit it right on. I don't know how you do it, but whatever you're doing it right there. KFI CDG.
Well, all I'm doing is listening, George. I've operated a solid-state radio a couple of times here recently, which I use more for test equipment than getting on the air. But no, I just try and do it right. Thanks for your comments. And hey, how long is that in-fed wire? And like, how is it configured? If it goes in the window, then where does it go from there?
Well, it's about 130 foot long. I put it up there for 160, but it works so well here that I've just started using it here. And it's kind of like let's see, how can I say it? It's like a question mark kind of leaning to the side there. That's the configuration of it. That's just how it went up in the tree, but that doggone thing seems to work pretty good there, don't it?
And what kind of an antenna tuner?
I'm using a Dentron. I had another little MFJ that I really liked that would tune it better than this. This old super tuner, it don't have much of an inductor in there, and so, but it will tune it without the ballon. I put the ballon in there and used it one time, and then I took it out, but it will tune it without the ballon, but it won't go down to 160 where I really wanted to use the antenna for, so I'm going to have to get some more inductance in there, but I do have a big old, huge, humongous Palomar that will tune anything. It's a good T-match there. Go ahead.
Well, that's all good to know, and it's working fine. You know, long wires and in-fed antennas were kind of out of style for many years, but I'm hearing more and more these days. Maybe the tuners are better, or maybe people have just learned how to do it better, but they're getting around, and for all I can see, they're working pretty well. Yours is no exception.
Well, it did work better than the dipole. It's a cramped area, and I rigged one up there, kind of makeshift dipole, and this thing was so much better, just the in-fed wire, than the dipole was, that I just continued to use it.
I'd say it's working fine. All right, anything else for the net this evening?
That's it.
All right, let me have a couple of check-ins, then we'll give it to Jay, let him talk to some folks. Who else wants to talk to us tonight? K5LYN, listening?
Bravo Zulu KG5 BZ.
Okay, Ron, I got you, and Rusty, was that you?
I don't know. Oh, yeah, I guess it was.
Okay, I'll talk to both of you guys. Hey, BZ, Ron, hey, we can still hear those bad capacitors in your radio, but let's talk to you anyway. Over to you, K5LYN.
Okay, Lynn, thanks. I'll keep it short. Swan 175, 8-kin HP20 supply, Swan speaker cabinet, Alpha Delta DXCC dipole, fan dipole, that's about 30 foot. And the microphone's static D10 Alpha. Back to net. Good evening.
Well, you're the only guy that's had a single-band Swan on here that I know of in all the years we've been here. And it's working fine with that one exception. So see if you can get those caps on your to-do list.
Roger. Yeah, I've lost all my literature for this gear, so that's going to have to wait.
Okay, all right. Well, it's doing a great job on its own, but they're pretty bad. Okay, let me see. Who was WK5R, wasn't it?
Roger. Yeah, good evening there, Lynn, and everybody on the net. This is WK5R. We're on the usual FT101EE. The microphone is a Electro Voice 641. And we're driving the homebrew GS35B fan dipole, no tuner. Doing about 1,400 there, so that's what we're doing. And on the previous check-in there, I was hearing some ripple on him. I don't know if it's just something on my end or between me and him, or if anybody else is hearing that. Like he might need to replace the capacitors in the power supply or in the audio section or something. Other than that, that's about it, man. Back up to WJ5R.
Oh yeah, we talked about that, Rusty. Yeah, he definitely needs to do some recapping down there. It's probably got all of its old original parts, and that rig dates to about 1960. So it's overdue. But no, you heard right. You've got a nice signal, Rusty. Anything else for the group?
No, that's it, man.
Okay, very good. Well, let's see there. Mr. J, you want to talk to these folks and see if you can drum up some business? How about it? K5LYN.
Alrighty. Yeah, we might be able to drag a few out of the woodwork. This is Jay, KM5QS down here in Alex, and I'm coming to you tonight on a Collins KWM2A. I'm using an Alexa Voice 664A. It's kind of a miniaturized version of 664. Anyway, it seems to work pretty good. 30L1, a 312B5, and an F16-2, or, power supply and all that. One of these days I'm going to get that PM2 put on the back of it just for the heck of it. See how that works. I also have a Collins speaker 270G, which I'm not using right now because I got the headphones on. Keep models coming in here and whipping up on me. Going through a balance tuner, a homemade open wire line, a homemade 160 meter dipole, 50-foot feed point off the tower. And that's about it. So whoever then had got yet want to join in with the BoatAnchorNet, come now please. Okay, anybody else want to check in?
India, a zebra. Kilowatt number 5. Bravo. India, a zebra.
Okay, go ahead, Bill.
Okay, this is Biz. Bravo, India, zebra from the colony. Pump output, only 100 watts. 100 watts. Go ahead and run it big. Running an Atlas 210 barefoot and Atlas 210 with a Sure 404 crystal hand mic. And we just talked to the mail and just wanted to see how far my little 100 watts can make it. Alright, back to net control. This is K5BIZ.
Okay, Bill. Well, I'm hearing you pretty good. Down here, your 100 watts is working for you. Anything else for the net?
No, that's it. I'll just say 73 now. Talk to the mail here. K5BIZ.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, who else for the Boat Anchors Unlimited tonight? Come on down.
Kilowatt 8 Whiskey Oscar Zulu.
Okay, Dan, how much power supply is about to give up?
Sounds like my power supply is about to give up.
Yeah, it's got that motorboat.
Oh, really? Well, okay. Be clear out here. I'll find out what the problem is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's pretty rough.
A quick comment?
Go ahead.
Hey, Dan, it sounds just like BZ, no, it sounds just like Ron, BZ, a while ago. You probably heard him.
Yeah, okay.
What is it?
I don't know. Must be something in the power supply.
No, I mean, what radio?
Oh, it's 830.
Weird. Back to you, Jay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's unusual. Unless you just had a tip go south on you.
It might be about time for them to be replaced.
Okay. And it does say it still sounds better than Ron's, but it's just definitely got something wrong. Alrighty, well, we'll let Dan scratch his head and get the screwdriver out. Anyone else for the net tonight?
Whiskey Delta 5 Alpha Delta Charlie.
Go ahead, Rick.
Good evening, everybody in the net. This is Rick, WD5ADC in Harlingen. And tonight I am again on the GSB 100 concept, big 2B receiver, 3001 amp, and the inverted V antenna, D104 mic. And that's just about all there is to it today.
Well, it's certainly enough. It's coming up here just fine. No problem. Sounds great as usual.
Everybody I've heard so far tonight sounds good also. So the band's in decent shape, except for a little bit of static, not much.
Well, I'm cheating a little bit. I rigged up a clear speaker to come off the audio on this one, so I don't got too much static. It sounds pretty good. Anyway.
Yeah, I was hearing Lynn real good tonight too. Usually he's up there with you, maybe not quite all the time, but I just got in here just a few minutes ago, so I caught the tail end of everything. Really sounds good so far.
Yep, not too bad. Even had one Kansas check in, so can't be doing too bad. All right, Rick, anything else?
No, 7-3 everybody, WD5ADC.
Okie dokie. Thanks a lot. Next time. Who else will check in for the boat anchors tonight? Come on down. KD5JQU, is that it? Uniform. I'm sorry, repeat the last three.
Kilo Echo 5, Kilo Quebec, uniform.
Okay, I got you now. I don't know what's going to go first, my memory or my ears, but go ahead, sir.
Hey, I just heard y'all in there and closing out. I was just going to see if I could get an audio record and maybe see where you guys are.
Well, you sound fine. This is the Boat Anchors Unlimited net, and we're here every Wednesday evening, starting off about 7:30, and we're all running old gear like Common, Klon, Drake, Central Electronics, stuff like that. Now, modern rigs are not turned down if anybody's got an interest in what we're doing, though. Well, check in and all that stuff. And it's just a good time with the old tunes, Roger.
All right, very good. I'm up here in North Texas, just about 20 miles west of Fort Worth.
Okay. That's 20 miles. Yeah, you're on the other side. Rusty's over there on the east side. You're over there on the west side. Alrighty. There's an outfit somewhere out there about where you are to build trailers. Are you familiar with them? No, maybe not.
I lost a little bit of that there. Let me get my headphones on so I can hear a little better.
I might have gotten out of the microphone too. No, I was just curious. There's an outfit out there, not too far from where you are, that builds trailers. Usually tanker trailers. I just wondered if you were familiar with them.
Yeah, copy trailers. What kind of trailers?
Tanker trailers. Tanker trailers like crude oil or saltwater or whatever.
Well, I think there's a place over at Weatherford that does. I think it's called Zanetti Trailers. There used to be one right here on the interstate where the 20 and 30 come together, but they're gone now.
Well, that may be the ones I'm thinking about. It's been quite a while. Oh, well. They built a good trailer, too. I think it was Stevens is what the name of them was, Stevens Trailers.
Yeah, I believe that was the one here at the 20-30 split. And that's where I'm located. I'm about a mile from the 20-30 split.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. Well, that's just it just came to mind. I was with the company. We bought about 15 or 20 of their trailers one time. And worked real well. But I guess that wasn't enough to keep them in business. All right. Well, I guess I'll see who else is out there. Thanks for checking in, and we're here every Wednesday. So come on back if you have mine to.
All right, sir. Hey, I appreciate you come back there. It was nice chatting with you. What was your call sign again? I did not copy that.
All right, my call is Kilo Mike 5 Quebec Sierra KM5QS, and the name is Jay, Juliet Alpha Yankee.
Okay, I think I may have you on the road from Saturday.
It's just entirely possible.
All right, Jay. Well, you have a good evening, and I hope you get some of this rain they keep talking about. We don't have that here yet, but we'll catch up with you a little further down the road. This is KE5, KQU, and I'm Chris.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, this is the BoatAnchorNet, and we're looking to check in. If we haven't talked to you yet, give us a chance. Come on down.
Whiskey Bravo 6, Tango, Juliet Bravo.
TJB, you're out, go ahead.
That again, I didn't quite catch that question. This is WB6 TJB, Brownsville, Texas.
Brownsville, okay. Yeah, no, I just said go ahead.
Okay, name is Dave, Delta Alpha Victor Echo. I don't believe I've checked into the net before, so I figured I'd heard you in there and thought I'd give you a shot. Down here in Brownsville, the weather down here is presently 86 degrees, 66%, and it's another nice day in paradise as usual. I just retired 3 months ago, so I'm still trying to figure out this new balance thing. If you got any comments or suggestions, feel free to throw them out. With that, I'll just give it on back to you. I appreciate you letting me check in. WB6
Okay, Dave. Yeah, I retired a couple of years ago, and I hadn't figured it out yet. I think I need a part-time job to help finance my retirement.
Roger. I understand. I'm looking at that myself.
Oh, man. All righty. Well, thank you, sir. Let me see. Okay, yeah. Who's next for the Boat Anchors Unlimited net? One more time. Anybody else out there wants to check into the Boat Anchors Unlimited? Well, it looks like we might be running a little short tonight.
You know, it's interesting. Last week we filled up the hour, and maybe people got other things they need to do this evening. But we'll hang out here a minute and see what happens. All right. This is K5LYN. My name's Lynn. I'm in Austin. This is the call and test line. Anybody else out there want to talk vacuum tube radios tonight? I'm listening.
KWAZ again.
Okay, I got somebody else tuning up, Dan, but I still hear him there. Okay, now, Dan, tell us what it was. You've exchanged radios or you fixed it. Over to you, K5LYN.
Yeah, I changed radios, Lynn. No, I've never done that before, but I could hear on another radio. It's got that AC hum in there, so I changed those storage capacitors. I did pull the top off, and I see they're still original, and I got a whole new set of them here, so it won't be a big job. I won't get it done before something else happens. Anyway, I'm just talking on a Kenwood 440 and driving a little homebrew 3811A amplifier and using a Electro Voice 664 microphone. The antenna is a 2-element bazooka about 36 feet in the air. That's about it. I'm building a new amplifier, taking pictures and all that crap, so I think I'll put this one in electric radio too, Lynn. It's a lot better job than that last one was. Anyway, maybe another month or so we'll get her finished and put it on here. That's it from here. Thanks for letting us in a couple of times. K5LYN, K8WLZ.
Very nice signal, Dan. Well, tell me about that 811A now. Did you build it or did you acquire it? And I'm wondering how many volts you got on the plates for those tubes.
Oh, I built it. Sammy gave me a box. Well, he gave me a couple of them, and I just let them sit around here till I decide what I'm going to do with them. And this has got 3 811As mounted horizontally because that's all I could fit in there. Picked up a filament transformer up at Belton for $1. I could get 4 in there if I made a new L bracket, but anyway, it works pretty good. Puts out about 600 watts. I got an outboard power supply, which is a unusual thing. I don't have much money in this, as you can tell. Chad down there gave me a big transformer one time. It's a potted transformer. It looks like it came out of a Heathkit SB220, but it was like 3,600 volts, but it only had a 220 primary. So I got creative and put the primary on 110 and got about 1,600 volts and put in a full-wave bridge, and away we go. I got about 1,850, 1,900 volts on this thing, and it sags a little bit, but otherwise it just consistently puts out 600 watts. I've had it for about 4 or 5 years now. That's it from here.
Did you put some kind of tuned input?
No, I used the tuner in the radio, but with a tube type radio, you know, of course they'll tune right into it. It doesn't need much. Actually, I could probably just put a little bit of more capacitance coupling, and I think that would probably take care of it for most all bands.
Yeah, there were lots and lots of amplifiers with no tuned input during vacuum tube days, though they always said it was better, and I think you get a little bit more drive. Anyway, it's working great, Dan. Nice audio, real strong in here. So, well, I'll be curious to see what you find when you fix the other radio.
Yeah, hopefully I'll know by next week. Thank you, Lynn.
Keep us posted.
Roger.
Okay, good to hear you. Who else for the boat anchors? K5LYN, listening?
Kilo Alpha 5, Delta.
Hey, Kyle, how you doing?
Hey, Lynn, I'm doing really well. Just thought I'd check in for the count. Everyone's sounding really good, and I'm just sitting here doing a little work and listening. I'm running an FTDX 3000, so I'm not quite a boat anchor, but I can be useful for helping you figure out if you're on frequency. Working that into an infrared at 100 watts. So 100 watts in a wire here. Thanks for taking me. And back to you, KA5D.
Yeah, you're sounding great, Kyle. And even if I'm not quite right, I'm not going to reach up and touch the knob because in this particular operating position, it's not across the room, but it's about halfway. So I'm going to let it alone. I think it's close enough. But no, you got a great signal, and glad you came by. We're always here, and anybody that's interested in what we're doing is always welcome. Over.
Roger that. Well, you know, your signal in particular, you're right on. I know your voice really well, and you're sounding perfect. So, keep doing what you're doing.
We'll try it. Okay, good to hear you. Who else for the net? K5LYN, listening? I might have heard somebody come back to me. Try it again. Let's see if anybody can hear you. Can anybody hear that person and pick him up?
I can hear him, but I can't understand him.
George, how about you? You usually hear people well. TXW?
Talk to me, station, over.
Check in. Try us again. I double with you. Try us again. Well, sir, I think we're just not going to hear you tonight. Thanks for giving it a try. Let us get a little bit farther into the fall when the propagation gets a little bit better this time of evening. Maybe we can make it. But I don't think we're going to make it tonight because none of us can pull you through. All right, who else for the net? K5LYN, listening?
Kilo Golf 5, Whiskey Papa Echo.
WPE, pick it up.
Kilo Golf 5 Whiskey Papa Echo. Name here is Jason in Missouri City. First time just stepping into the net. The boat anchor I'm running here is a KW Electronics 2000A, built in England about 1967. Back to you.
Jason, tell us a little bit more about that radio built in England. I've never heard of it. What was the name of it again?
The name of the company is
Electronics out of England. I think most of the radios were sold in England or Canada. This radio originated in Canada. It was actually my first radio about 30 years ago. Just got back into my license about 6 months ago, and went through and restored this radio. It took me about 3 or 4 months to go through it. It's basically, it's just a basic radio, nothing special, 2 6146 outputs, and that's about it. Back to Nick.
Hey, that's very nice, Jason. Now, is there some solid state stuff in there? 67 was still usually pretty much vacuum tubes, over.
The only thing that has solid state are the rectifiers and the balance modulator. That's the only thing that uses anything solid state. Just some germanium diodes.
Okay, yeah, just about like this Collins S line that I'm on then. Well, it's doing a nice job for you. Now, did you tell me you're on an amplifier, or am I hearing a barefoot signal?
You are hearing the barefoot signal. I do not have an amplifier.
And tell me the first, I got WPE. Tell me the prefix of your call and the QTH again.
Prefix is Kilo Golf 5, and the location is Missouri City.
Well, okay. I'm really glad you came by. We'll get this down, and we're here Wednesday evenings talking vintage radio stuff, so you've come to the right place. Keep in touch with us. How about it?
Sure will. Very interested in old radio stuff here. I've got a Hammerman FT600 I was tuning up and down the band off just to give a listen. So it's something I'm definitely interested in. I would definitely will check that. KG5WTV.
Well, the Hammerman SP600 certainly meets the definition of boat anchor. I've never owned one, but I've seen them around. So, yeah, glad you're here, and come by more often. All right, Jay, you want to put out another call, see if you can drum up some more people? Over to you, KM5QS, K5LYN.
Okay, Lynn. Yeah, I'll do that in just a second. If you want to see a picture of that KW Electronics 2000A, it's on RigPix. I'm looking at it right now. Looks a lot like a Collins. Just the knobs are in different places. That's cool. I don't think we've heard one of those before. And George had a question earlier about what's the difference between a winged emblem and a round emblem. Mostly, it's just when they were made, as far as I know. A lot of the winged emblem stuff was in military aircraft as well. Now, whether that's why they call it winged emblem or not, I'm not sure. But I do know the round emblems were made later on. Maybe that might be all there is to it. Anyway, if anybody knows more about it than I do, and I'm sure somebody does, you can correct me anytime. That being said, anyone else ready to check into the Boat Anchor's Unlimited Net this evening? Come now, please.
W5OMR.
Go ahead.
You say that like it's a bad thing. Hello, Jay, and hello, Lynn, and everybody else on here tonight. KM5QS in the Boat Anchors from W5OMR. I'm not necessarily on a boat anchor as far as the exciter is concerned. I'm using the Tintec SDR Pegasus radio from about the mid to late 90s vintage area. But the amplifier is, that's 1990, by the way, last century stuff. It may be a boat anchor by now. But the amplifier is a Drake L7 running the 33-500Zs, and I've been listening here for a while, and that really down in Missouri City sounds great. I heard the motorboating on the bad cap with Captain Ron down there, KG5BZ. I know Ron's still in, everything's in the disarray from the storm. And God bless him for all that. And Dan, you heard that noise also on your rig, but I know you'll get that thing figured out. The 3811 amplifier project sounds interesting. And I've done that before with 240 volt transformer primaries.
They run 110 on them to get half of what you wanted out on the second day. That works out pretty good that way. I don't have much of anything else. I had a nice little rain shower here earlier. I've been playing somewhat here lately on 6 meters, and I'm looking to make a 6 meter AM contact if anybody ever works 50.4. So, be listening around for that. Good to hear you, Lynn. Good to hear you too, Jay. And back over to you. Inside US. That's the time warm up.
Alrighty. Oh, just for your information, 57 days, 3 hours, 48 minutes, and 10 seconds.
Yes, sir. Oh, well, you know, at least it's been consistent. 5 out of 5. Over.
Maybe it won't be freezing this time.
Oh, no, you talking about October. I was talking about something else. But yes, sir. 57 days, less than 3 months. Oh, that's a 2 months.
That's right. Better put in some time off.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything better, Chris? Anything else?
Oh, I believe that'll be it. I'll be looking forward to seeing you over there, Belton, so long as the weather holds out. I'm not going to freeze again like we did last time.
No, me neither. That's probably left. Anyway. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it already. You know, it's still a little ways away. Already got the trailer loaded full of wood. Well, not full, but enough anyway. Alright. Okay, this is JKM5QS helping Lynn out with the Boat Anchors Unlimited net this evening. Anyone we haven't talked to yet, come on down. Doesn't have to be a boat anchor. If you have anything relevant or irrelevant, or you just want to check in, come on now. Okay, Lynn, KM5QS, returning it to you.
Yeah, we may have covered the territory. We've got 45 minutes here. Let's see if there's anybody else wants to talk to me before we wind this thing down tonight. K5LYN, listening? Well, I guess that's it, folks. Good signals all the way around. I'm always amazed when I can hear KB0UOZ out here when the sun's still shining in central Texas. And Doug had a good signal also from Arkansas. So, Arkansas or Louisiana, I forget which it is. Anyway, it's easy to hear in a long way. Any last comments before we wind the thing down tonight? K5LYN. Well, 73s, folks, I think I'll go off and do something else. Jay, over to you for any last words of wisdom.
Oh, wait, well, you may be talking to the wrong fellow for that, but, let's see. Words of wisdom. Don't carry a metal umbrella in a lightning storm. Make sure everything's grounded. Keep one hand in your pocket. Well, I know. See you later, Lynn. KM5QS. Oh, yeah, and we now return. Thanks everybody for checking in, having a good time with the little thing. We'll see you next week. And frequency is now returned to its normal pastime.
KB5QL.
Hey, Pepper, where the heck you been?
Hello, Jay. What's going on?
Oh, I'm just sitting here, listening to Twitch Radio. I'm still on college, but not much. We just finished BoatAnchorNet. That's about it.
Yeah, I was sitting there listening while I was putting my amplifier back together and just fiddling around in the shack.
Okay. You at Marble Falls?
I'm at Marble Falls.
All right. Well, you got a good signal this evening.
Yeah, I'm probably running about a kilowatt, so I was just putting my 95